York City agrees to pay more than $657 million to Ground Zero emergency workers. The settlement goes before a federal judge today. It must also be approved by more than 10,000 plaintiffs. They say they became sick from toxic fumes and dust at the World Trade Center site after the 9/11 attacks.
I'm 52 years old, and they told me I got lungs of a 90-year-old man.
Oh boy, a legal analyst. Think about that for a second. Sunny Hostin of In Session on True TV joins me from New York. Good to see you again, Sunny. Good Friday to you. A compelling story here, to be sure. It took, what, 2 years to negotiate this deal, and now it goes before a federal judge today. Sunny, the judge is going to approve this deal, right?
It appears that way, and I think the question on everyone's minds, Tony, is was it really worth the wait? 6 years of legal wrangling, 2 years, as you mentioned, just to negotiate this settlement. And in order for this really to work, 100% of the plaintiffs have to agree to participate in it. That's where they would get
100%? What is that?
657.5. Well, it's interesting that you asked that. Under the terms of this settlement, if only 95% of the participants participate, the plaintiffs participate, they get $575 million. Now, that will be, divided around between 10,000 plaintiffs. And again, it's going to be a boon for the lawyers because the lawyers will probably get about a third of that. And so when you look at it in terms of is it worth the wait, you've got people that will get anywhere between $1,000 for their injuries up to $1 to $2 million for their injuries. So I would suspect that some of them will opt out of this class and still sue the city of New York.
Well, that was my next question. I'm wondering, what are the conversations like today between some of these emergency rescue workers and their attorneys? I mean, look, they're kicking this back and forth. Do we opt in or do we opt out?
Well, exactly, because again, it really, the compensation will be commensurate with what their injuries are. But if someone is really injured, I mean, we're hearing stories, Tony, of people that have cancer, a lot of respiratory illnesses, a lot of asthma-related illnesses. If they are really, really ill, would $5,000 suffice for that? But I will say this, there is a part of the settlement that will provide insurance and money for future illnesses, for perhaps, cancer down the line. And I think that is something that many of these plaintiffs will consider because that will be very helpful at the end of the day.
Isn't fraud something the city has to protect against here? People filing fraudulent claims to get a piece of this pot?
Absolutely, and the judge in this case, Judge Alvin Silverstein from the Southern District of New York, the federal judge, really has mentioned that and is concerned about that. I think what they are planning on doing and looking at some of the reports, Tony, and also reading some of the terms of the agreement, each plaintiff is going to have to submit proof of their participation in the cleanup, and they will also have to present medical documentation of their injuries and of their illness. And this judge has said that he will review every single one of these plaintiffs, every single one of their claims to make sure that there is no fraud here.
So a lot of work ahead. Sunny, good to see you. Good weekend to you. Sunny Hostin, legal analyst on In Session True TV. Still to come in the newsroom. Good to see you. Conflicted from child.